Welcome to the Digital Business Evolution Podcast, a place that you can now call home. I know you're creating long-lasting impact in this world, and you absolutely deserve the time, location, career, and financial freedom that you desire. I'm here to guide you with proven strategies, tools, and mindset hacks that I've taught to thousands of business owners. You'll also be hearing from exceptional guests sharing stories of their own personal and business evolution. My name is Jessica DeRose, and I'm here to teach you what I'm learning. We are all inherently worthy, regardless of the number of degrees, awards, and accolades that we've collected along the way. Grab a notebook, a coffee, and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to the show, an episode all about being the expert. Notice I said being and not becoming. And that's because my belief is that we are all already experts. We are. We're experts with our own lived experience. We're experts with our own perspective. Everything that we've been through, the skills, the challenges, the tools that we've learned, the wins that we've had, those are ours and only ours. So much like a snowflake, we are all unique in our own perspective. We see the world through a different lens and a different perspective. We see it through different challenges and through different lived experiences, transformations, people that we've met, stories that we've heard. So while we can all read more books and we can listen to more podcasts and take more courses, in fact, we could be sitting in the same room learning the exact same material, but still have a different perspective, still have different beliefs, and still have different insights. And that, quite frankly, is what makes us all experts in our own right. So today we're diving into the three different types of expert, the three R's, three different types of experts. And we're going to be talking about how you already are an expert in different areas of your life. I'm also going to be giving you immediate expert actions to take so that you can go and implement right from this podcast and take action on the things that you are an expert at. I know that when I talk to clients and potential clients, a lot of times at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey, they're a bit uncertain. They're unsure. Why would people buy from me? Why would people believe me? What makes me an expert? Am I credible enough? Do I need more certifications? There are other people out there who've been doing it longer. Why would somebody choose me? And these are all valid thoughts. These are valid objections and valid fears. But again, I truly believe that you are already an expert, and I want to show you how that looks. So let's just do an overview real quick. The three different types of expert that I'm going to be teaching you today are the research expert, the role model expert, and the results expert. So go ahead and write those down. We have research, role model, and results. And I'm going to unpack each of them for you. So the first is the research expert. Now, the cool thing is that not only are we all research experts at certain times in our journey, but we're always a research expert in something, in some area. So a research expert is someone that is finding out the information. They might be currently learning it. They're currently going through it. They are letting their audience know that I'm trying something new. I'm going through a change. Let me see, let me find out, let me go back, let me be the messenger. It's the person who says, honestly, I don't have the answer for you, but I'm willing to go find out. And the research expert is someone who is just a step in front of you. So let me give you an example here. Let's say that you're going on vacation with a bunch of friends and you're heading off to Bali, and you get there a day before they do. And so when you get there, you check into the hotel and you unpack your luggage and you decide that you're going to hit the street and you're going to go look for something to eat. And so you start walking around looking for a shop, somewhere to eat, a little restaurant or a cafe, and you're asking the different locals that you're bumping into if they have any suggestions for a place that has a really good smoothie bowl. That's what you're craving, a smoothie bowl and a matcha. And so you're directed to go to this particular little cafe and you make your way there. You have a beautiful lunch with an incredible view, and the food is absolutely delicious. So when you head back to your hotel, you go about your day, and your friends are coming the next day. They check in the next day. You're so excited to see them. But of course, after a really long flight, they're hungry and they really want to go get some sort of food. And so you're like, hey, I found this really cool place yesterday. It's right down the street. Awesome cafe, great views, great food. Let me take you there. Now, you were only there one day before them, but by you being there one day before them and you experiencing, you doing the research, you going out and asking questions, you having conversations, you testing out the waters, you already knew that there was a cafe down the street that they're going to love. That makes you the research expert. You never said that you had been studying this for a really long time and you have all these years of credibility and you have all these certifications. You simply said, hey, I went here yesterday and it was really good. I think you'd like it. That's the research expert. So when you're learning something new, when you're trying something new, when you're diving into a new level of your own evolution and transformation, there's a really good chance that you're going to become the research expert. Now, what happens after you become the research expert oftentimes is you then transition into the second one, which is our role model expert. So the role model is the person who's saying, come with me, rather than look at me. It's not look at me, I did it. It's come with me, I'm doing it. The role model expert is generally someone who's really inspiring, really motivating, extremely relatable, because they're going through the journey while you're watching. So really, oftentimes in social media, we're all standing in the position of a role model expert. It's not about being motivational or being inspirational. That's not what I'm saying. It's about showing people what it is that you're doing, trying, going through. But you might know a little bit more than just the research expert. You've created a habit. So the research expert is looking for a trainer. They're looking for a gym. They're testing out diets, right? They're trying different things to maybe lose weight. Whereas the role model expert is a little bit further along in their journey. And now they've been consistently going to the gym every single day for 6 months. They've been consistently eating a certain type of meal plan, which is yielding results. And they're consistently sharing that with you. And as they're learning more and more, they're sharing it, being the research expert, but also just by them doing it, they become the role model expert. And then a final step here would be the third step, which is generally the one that we all think we're supposed to have or be. And that's going to be the results expert. So once you've researched, then you've become the role model, you typically transition into the results expert. So the results expert is someone who sort of says, I've been there, done that. They have the authority. They have the credibility. They've already maintained that stance. They either personally went from A to B in their journey, or they've helped someone else transform from A to B. They have that social proof. They might even have that market demand. So when we think about ourselves in the sense of, am I good enough? Not in worthiness, but am I good enough to be doing this next thing, creating this product, coaching these people? We usually think that we have to be the results expert. If I haven't built a 7-figure business, then who am I to teach business? If I haven't lost 100 pounds myself, then who am I to help people lose weight? If I haven't blank, then how could I blank? When in reality, again, we are all results experts in different areas. So notice how oftentimes the thread starts with you begin in research, you transition through role model, and eventually you become result. And so going back to the person who is wanting to try a new diet or start going to the gym and they want to lose weight and they want to get stronger. And then through habit and consistency, 6 months later, a year later, they become that role model because they're just doing it, they're being it. And eventually they become the results expert because now they've obtained the weight loss, the toned arms, the being able to do 5 pull-ups. So in one area of our life, we can transition ourselves through the 3 different R's. But the cool thing is, we also can be in different stages in different areas of our life. So a perfect example would be when it comes to business coaching, I would consider myself all 3, a research role model and results expert. The grand scheme of things, people look at the umbrella and say, oh, Jessica DeRose is a results expert. She's done it for herself. She's done it for her clients, which is true. But there are many things in business that I'm a role model expert in. For example, building out a team and being a leader of a team. That's still a new process for me. And then something that might be a research expert is integrating new things into my business, like a new position on my team or something like starting a podcast. This is brand new. And it required research for my team and I to figure out what type of microphone are we going to use? What type of podcast platform? Are we going to do it ourselves? Are we going to hire someone? So while I might look or feel like a results expert in quote unquote business, that's a big umbrella. And underneath that umbrella, it houses a lot of different things. So yes, you can work your way through your own customer journey of becoming research role model, result expert, but also in different areas of your life, you're going to be in different areas of these types of expert. So again, in business, I might be a results, but if I were learning how to play guitar right now, which I don't know how to do and I've never tried, I would definitely be a research model. And then something in the middle might be something that I play around with every now and then, which maybe it's creating jewelry. And there I might be a role model expert because I have a little bit more than zero when it comes to trial, error, knowledge, practice, skills. But I'm not necessarily a results expert. So I have 5 different questions that I'd love you to ask yourself, and you're going to head and write these down. So question number 1 is, what's something that you can talk about for hours? What's something that you can just talk about for hours that you're probably already an expert in? Again, regardless of the certifications and the paperwork, what is something that you can talk about for hours? Question number 2, what do people often ask you about? So if you go to a family party, what do people want to pick your brain about? What do friends from high school and college say that they think of you? When they think of you, they think of this particular topic. If people are sliding into your DMs, what are the questions that they're asking you? And more specifically, not just what are the questions, but what's the topic or theme around those questions? Question number 3 is, what are you currently learning or what are you interested in? So for me, I'm learning how to podcast. At the beginning of last year, I was learning how to shuffle, which is a type of dancing. This year, I'm going to be diving into glass blowing. I'm really excited to take classes on glass blowing. So these are things that I'm learning and that I'm interested in. Take a pulse. What are the podcasts you're listening to? What are the books that you're reading? If you're watching documentaries, what are the themes and sort of different topics that you're learning about currently? Question number 4, what transformation have you been through? And if it wasn't you, then what transformation have you helped other people go through? Is it learning how to take pictures? Is it learning how to train your cat? Have you gone through a personal transformation of grief? Have you gone through a journey of divorce? So what's the thing that you've been through or that you help other people go through? And then the 5th and final question is, where in your life are you showing up as the research expert? Where in your life are you showing up as the role model expert? And where in your life are you showing up as the results expert? When you can zoom out and sort of do that bird's eye view, that 30,000 foot view, you're going to start to be able to put yourself into, I don't want to say boxes because I don't want to put you in boxes ever, but you can start to compartmentalize what areas of your life you already are. And that's what I want you to recognize is that you already are. Because again, we can all learn the same things, but it's the lived experience and perspective that you take with you that creates your secret sauce. That's your differentiating factor. It's your own perspective. So again, I never said that certifications are not important. You should only be building a business inside your legal scope of practice, but knowing how you are already an expert and what makes you credible. Again, I got to Bali a day before you. I found the restaurant. I found the cafe. There's some credibility there. I'm not claiming to be the guru, but I'm saying I found this place. So what can you stand on that you already have? Now, to dive into the person, for the person who's ready to take action, because I know you're action takers. That's why you're listening to this podcast. And I'm with you. I'd be chomping at the bit ready to take action as well. What I'd love you to do is the next couple things to start really flexing your own muscle of research, role model, and results expert in different areas of your life. You can do this in your personal life. You can do this in your business. And in your business, you can do this in all different areas. So this could be the way that you speak when you're being interviewed. It could be how you show up on social media, the content that you create, the emails that you're putting out. Maybe it's just how you show up on coaching calls and working with clients even one-to-one. So I'm going to list off a couple different things here, a couple different ideas for actions that you can start to take to really stretch yourself and make sure that you are showing up as an expert. You are creating, we know, that know, like, and trust. That's super important, as well as sharing the inspiration of come with me rather than look at me. And then, of course, that authority and credibility. So here we go. You ready? Grab that notebook. We are going to practice things like doing lives. Going live is going to obviously create value for your audience. It's also going to flex the muscle for you, and it's great practice, but it's going to start to set that standard and set that tone that you are an expert. So you can do that on Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, whatever platform that your ideal clients are hanging out on. I want you practicing doing lives, and I'd encourage you to do it weekly. I'd love you to do collaborations as well, because the beautiful thing about collaborations when you're doing lives is that not only is it getting you to practice with another person, interview style, but you actually get to cross-pollinate your audience with someone else's audience, which gets you in front of more people's eyeballs, which is incredible. I'd love you to start posting intentional content and start email blasting your list. If you don't have a list, then I highly encourage you start building an email list, because that is a list that you own versus a list that you borrow, which is a topic for another day. But this free content is going to add value. And it's going to show your audience, it's going to show your listeners or your readers the type of angle that you're coming from. And there's nothing wrong with letting them know vulnerably that you're in the process of learning something or that you're going through something. So know that it's actually more powerful and more beneficial to say sometimes, hey, I'm just learning this. Stay tuned. Let me share with you. Let me see. Let me go find out. Rather than, it's always my way or the highway. It's black or white. I'm the expert. We don't want you to be up on a pedestal. Nobody is, right? You're superhuman. Keep it relatable. I'd love to see you doing things like blogging or vlogging, definitely jumping on video. That's the best performing content right now. People are loving video education, entertainment, small little bite-sized clips. You can link back to published articles. If you don't have any, you could be pitching yourself to get published. Mini trainings are always super helpful. You could still do those mini trainings on things like IG stories, but you can also create reels and TikToks, short form video. Again, that training is showing your audience, look at what I'm an expert in. Let me teach you how to do this. Let's unpack the how to, the 5 steps, the 3 ways. Let me myth bust, right? Another great thing that you could be doing is collecting and sharing testimonials. Testimonials of yourself, of your clients, past clients. It can be case studies that you're sharing, not just a written testimonial talking about how great you are, but rather sharing the story of how that client went from A to B and what their transformation was. You can be getting yourself on multiple platforms, getting into different areas, different audiences, and also practicing the way that you show up. And lastly, I want to make sure that you are utilizing the features that we have on different social media platforms so that your audience is engaging back with you. So don't just put stuff up on stories, but rather put stuff up and ask your audience to engage. Use the questions box and the quiz and the polls and all the different things that people can then interact with you. So I hope it was helpful. I want to remind you just to do a little recap. We have 3 different types of expert. We've got the research expert, the role model expert, and the results expert. And you are already all of those things. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've learned, your own lived perspective, your own journey of personal development and growth makes you an expert in all of those areas. Let's not forget the 5 questions to ask yourself to really start to ponder and think about, what are you an expert in? What do people think about when they think of you? Why would people come to you? And how can you differentiate yourself from everybody else in the industry who's doing very similar things to you? Because at the end of the day, you are the secret sauce. The last thing I want to say is, if you loved this episode, of course, it would mean the world to me if you liked it, shared, subscribed, rated it, reviewed, and shared it with a friend. But also, if you want to dive deeper on, okay, Jess, but what am I supposed to do now that I know I'm an expert? How can I actually start building my business? I'd love to offer you a special 10% discount on all of our products that we have right now. Just for being a part of our launch party, just for being a part of this podcast kicking off, we are giving 10% with the coupon code LAUNCHPARTY. That is one word, LAUNCHPARTY, launch party, 10% off. And what I would suggest you do is head over to our Forgotten Essentials program. The Forgotten Essentials program is where you're going to take everything from knowing that you're an expert and bundling it up and starting to package it with what is your niche and who is your ideal client and what is their customer journey. But these are not typical ways that this stuff is taught. I'm not just offering you 27 questions to figure out who your ideal client is. We're actually tapping into the psychology of your ideal client. We're tapping into the NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming, so that you can speak directly to those people, and why the importance of knowing your customer journey, your company core values, all of these deep, deep, deep rooted things are the foundations to your business. So let's not forget about them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you shared it with a friend. And if you want the chance to win one of our incredible podcast launch giveaways, like a Yeti microphone, AirPods, or a super cute throwback Polaroid camera, all things to help your business evolve and explode, make sure you take 30 seconds to subscribe, review, and share on your socials. Be sure to check out our show notes for all the juicy details. And until next time, cheers to your evolution.